This is Estepario Siberiano. In the past 3 years, he has become one of the world's most famous drummers without even leaving his bedroom. But after binge watching his videos, I found 8 secrets that I can't unsee. Luckily for us, there are lessons within each one of these secrets that I believe can help every drummer become dramatically better. Estepario has mastered 3 techniques that allow him to get twice as many notes on his kit than the average drummer with just a single hand. And unfortunately, there are people out there who consider these techniques as cheating, which we'll get into in a little bit. The first technique he uses is called gravity blasts, which allows him to get insanely fast rolls with just one arm. He does this by making his stick into a lever, by putting it on the rim of the drum and just simply pulling up and down, getting a note for each movement. And most drummers only play it with one hand or only on the snare drum, but Estepario uses gravity blasts like this. His second limb hack is the duelist pedal, which allows him to play double kick with just a single pedal. Now this is where people like to chime in as cheating. Some people even think the double bass pedal is cheating.
Daddy, stop trying to cheat. It isn't right.
But I would argue that it's just a new tool that allows him to play the drums in a more creative way. Especially when he's playing crazy patterns with his other foot, it's really the only way to play exactly what's in his mind. So if you want to be a more creative and accurate drummer and play more like Estepario, get this block of cheating out of your mind. His third limb hack is something I like to call stick rocking. Which is where you can play super fast notes on the cymbal simply by playing push-pull technique like you would on a stick, but you just hold it more at the top so you get a note at the top of your stick and at the bottom of your stick. I'm gonna organize these secrets based on which drummer I think they would help the most. Because I think for drummers, it's easy to get overwhelmed and try to learn everything, but instead I want you to only focus on the things that are most beneficial to you. So limb hacking, I think, is the most beneficial for advanced drummers who are really looking to go to that expert place in their drumming. For everyone else, just keep focusing on your basic techniques. Let's talk about Estepario's secret weapon, because this is a topic that so many drummers ignore as a foundational part of their drumming. And it allows him to play things on the kit that makes it sound like there's 2 drummers playing at the same time. This secret weapon is his 4-limb coordination. Now, when I grew up, I mostly just played with 3-limb coordination, which was just my 2 hands and my kick drum. But one day my drum teacher opened my eyes to what a samba pattern was, and it totally changed drumming for me altogether. So I think this concept is the most beneficial for beginner drummers because coordination is one of the biggest hurdles that you have to get over as a beginner. Now there's something that Estepario does that has nothing to do with his drumming at all, but I believe that it is his greatest asset on the kit. Because for Estepario, it's not about a specific drumming technique, it's actually about his mindset.
Desde que yo decidí que quería orientar toda mi vida alrededor de la batería, no me he saltado, literalmente, por favor creedme, no me he saltado ni un puto día de práctica. Ni uno. Todos los días que he podido he practicado el máximo de horas que he podido, llueva. Es que muchas veces parece que desde las marcas y los medios, las revistas, las plataformas de docentes, se nos fraccionan a los artistas como 2 tipos. Parece que está como la gran élite y luego todos los demás. Muy bien, eso, gente, es una mentira como la copa de un pino. La posibilidad vuestra de mejorar y alcanzar el nivel del profesional que a vosotros os parezca está enteramente en vuestras manos.
Let me put it this way. I've taught tons of students, and there is a key difference between good drummers and great drummers. You have to be singularly focused and borderline obsessive. The drummers who are obsessed with making progress on the drums, obsessed with playing, obsessed with studying and learning, those are the drummers who become the best. Now, I think this secret benefits intermediate drummers the most. Of course, it's beneficial to all of us, but that's because I think there's the strongest line between intermediate and advanced drummers. And really the only way to cross that is with hyper diligence and discipline. Estepario is an incredible drummer, but with that, there is a concern element that starts to come in. As musicians, we're constantly comparing ourselves to others around us, and it can really end up making us feel really bad about our playing. But there are ways that we can learn to deal with these emotions and stop comparing ourselves altogether. A big thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. As we talked about earlier, Estepario's mind is his greatest asset on the kit. And for me, therapy helps me manage my stress, thoughts, and emotions, so I don't have a whole lot of practice sessions that look like this. But thankfully, BetterHelp has made starting therapy a lot easier and a lot less intimidating. And I'm grateful for that because that means I have less freakouts. You can have therapy sessions as a phone call, video chat, or even messaging. Whatever is the most comfortable version of therapy for you. Now, when we compare ourselves to other drummers, the huge lie that we believe is that whatever we're seeing them play on Instagram or TikTok came so easy to them. And then when we sit down and try to play it and we can't, we not only get frustrated, but there's a lot of self-hatred. We think we suck, we think we shouldn't even play drums. But what you don't see is the drummer who you saw playing spent thousands of hours honing in their craft. And those thousands of hours led them to play what you're seeing now. But even what you're seeing now could have taken them 10, 20, 30, 40 plus hours. So of course you're not gonna play it in the first 5 minutes. Estepario will be the first to tell you that he works hard for his 30-second clips, and it doesn't always go his way either. BetterHelp can match you to one of over 30,000 therapists based on your needs and location, which is great because it gives you more options than what may be available in your city alone. And for me specifically, this is awesome because as a pro musician who's traveling all over the world, it's really nice to have a consistent therapist that I can see regularly. Using my link in the description, you can get matched with the therapist that's the right fit for you. If you want to take steps towards better mental health, then go to betterhelp.com/drumbeats or click the link in the description to get 10% off your first month. And clicking that link greatly supports this channel. Now, yes, I will be the first to admit that I've gotten stuck comparing myself to other drummers way too often, but let's hear what Estepario has to say about this.
Don't try to be the best version of someone that's not you, because you are never going to be better than them.
Now, Estepario does something amazing here. I think he spends a lot more time celebrating and being excited for other drummers as opposed to negatively comparing himself. And I think this is a key mindset shift. The happier we can be for other drummers and the more stoked we can be, the more inspiration we're gonna draw from that, which will actually encourage us to play more and to play better, as opposed to have thoughts that are discouraging to yourself. Because like I said, our mind is our biggest asset on the kit. So maybe no surprise that I'm gonna rank this secret as the most beneficial to all of us drummers. Now, this technique is how Estepario ensures that everything he does is at a top level. And in my opinion, it's the biggest way that he separates himself from every other drummer. And that is the fact that he future-proofs his skills. What does that mean? The problem is most drummers expect to just practice something for 5 to 10 minutes and nail it. But the reality is this is almost never the case. We need to stretch and expand our expectations of what it takes to truly be great on the kit or even just in a single exercise. Estepario thinks in terms of weeks, months, and years, not minutes, hours, or days.
Well, once you have practiced that for months, it will sound like this. So once you have practiced this for years, you will be able to play it way faster. Let's go with it.
This is highlighted by the fact that he's posted multiple 40-second videos that have taken him 83 takes to complete or up to 9 hours to get to the place that he likes it.
It took me 37 days. Don't believe me? Try to follow. Just practice, guys. Let's go.
Now we are talking 9 hours for 40 seconds of drumming. Do you see the difference there? Because I think a lot of us would expect 40 seconds of a part to take us about 40 seconds or maybe 5 minutes, but he's spending 9 hours. And that is the powerful mindset shift that makes Estepario so much more elevated than us. It's not that things come easier to him, but it's the fact that he's so much more dedicated than most other drummers. So I think this secret benefits all drummers the most. And that's not to say that I think everyone should be spending 9 hours on their kit every day, but the powerful takeaway is to shift our expectations and just have the understanding that to get things to sound good on the drum set, it's gonna take longer than you think. Instead of thinking 5 minutes, maybe think an hour. Instead of thinking an hour, think a week. Then if you do it in a shorter amount of time, you'll be excited. But if your expectation was 5 minutes and it takes 3 days, then you're gonna be super pissed and you're probably not gonna keep practicing. Secret number 6 is something I like to call the Willy Wonka effect. Yep, Estepario is channeling Willy Wonka.
My name is...
No, not that one.
My name is...
No, not that one. Yeah, this one, to play insane things on the kit like this. So what the heck is the Willy Wonka effect? Well, it's just a term that I use that allows you to see something in a new way. So many of us drummers conform to these boundaries that we've created for ourselves on the kit. But Estepario really explores. He flips snare drums upside down. He plays with 3 sticks at one time. He adds new sounds using his left foot and his right foot. I think it's greatly underestimated how powerful it can be to simply change your setup and how much more inspiration you can draw from that, especially if you're feeling stuck. I think this secret benefits all drummers. Estepario has no motivation. I'll let him explain.
Siéntate, mírate a los ojos y habla contigo. ¿Qué quiero en mi vida? ¿Cuál es mi meta? ¿A dónde coño voy? O mejor, ¿a dónde quiero ir? Y se os van a plantear 2 caminos. El primero, quiero llegar a esto, y el segundo, me va a costar esto. Aquí hay un precio y aquí hay un resultado. ¿Estáis dispuestos a pagar ese precio para conseguir ese resultado? Adelante. ¿No estáis dispuestos? Dejadlo estar.
What I love about this explanation is that motivation is more of an emotion. It's more of a feeling, and feelings fade and go up and down. Estepario breaks it into a simple equation. Where do you want to go? If that's the goal, what's the price to get there? Now, the question is, do you want to pay that price? I think that's a really valuable question to ask yourself, and ask yourself honestly. So you're replacing motivation with discipline. And discipline allows you to continue to pay that price whether you feel motivated or not. You're just committed to showing up. And Estepario will be the first to say that he's committed to the process, not the goal. Because if you commit hard enough to the process, it becomes unreasonable that the goal won't happen. And I think this mostly benefits intermediate players because, like I said, that line between intermediate and advanced is a really hard one to cross over, and I think you need this type of mindset to really push you over the line. Now, what I'm about to say is the thing that really scares me about Estepario. The thing that really scares me about Estepario is that he doesn't give up. Because when someone is so passionate and dedicated to their craft, what they can achieve is limitless.
I was kicked out of the university, so I decided to give the musician life a go, and I did great, but they fired me. So by the time I was 23 years old, I lost everything. I was a total mess. I started drinking. I started taking a lot of antidepressants. Nobody believed in me by that time. And all that negativity actually entered inside of my body.
But what we can learn from him was that the key to his success was doing something he wanted to do for himself. And that was just film videos of what he was working on.
I started doing them for me because that's actually the only way that I can prove to myself that all the effort that I have put in this instrument is worth something.
I think what's scary is the success that you can find when you truly commit to something that you want to do, not worrying about what other people are going to say, not worrying about other drummers or musicians or comparing yourself. It's just saying, this is what I want to do. This is my goal, and I'm willing to pay the price, and I'm going to commit to it. And the success that you can find within that is scary and exciting and motivating. And this secret benefits all drummers the most.